Bad first date? This may make you feel better. I randomly met a young blonde named Tabitha at the mall. She was around 5 feet 5 inches with green eyes and dirty blonde hair. She had a slight trashiness to her, so of course I was interested. We exchanged numbers and eventually set up a date. From how she acted when we met and her general demeanor over the phone, I knew I'd be scratching another notch on my headboard in no time. I was running late to pick her up, so I didn't have time to stop and get gas. I hated pausing a date to stop and pump fuel, but running out of gas was worse, so I'd just have to deal with it. Because of how I envisioned things would go after dinner, I didn't want to risk breaking the momentum by stopping anywhere but the apartment. So after I picked her up, I told her we'd have to stop. She was cool with the refueling. As luck would have it, there was a convenience mart just a few blocks from her house. We pulled in and I jumped out so I could get it over with. As I'm standing there, I feel a big ball of gas form in my lower intestine and make its way down. Perfect timing since I was outside and could let it air out. Once it got to the gatekeeper, I relaxed and let it go. But it wasn't a fart. It was a full-fledged load of brown, toxic water rushing out of my ass. Before I could even react, raw sewage filled the insides of my underwear and blew out the elastic around my legs and waist. There was no containing or directing the force of the eruption. Within seconds, it went up my back, down both legs, over my socks and into my shoes. And the smell was on a level of disgusting I've never experienced. I had no idea what triggered the event. My stomach wasn't upset. I had zero warning. I descended into full panic mode. I returned the gas nozzle to the pump, then waddled my way to the bathrooms that were thankfully at the back of the building. They were locked, awesome, no hope of escaping total public humiliation. Me and the trail of poo I had following me made our way back to the store's entrance. I held the door open as I looked inside. I saw a line of people waiting to check out, but I was not about to participate with that nonsense. From the doorway, I called out. "Excuse me, ma'am. Do I need a key for the bathroom?" The attendant gives me a dirty look and tells me the men's room is out of order. "Ma'am, I normally wouldn't ask, but this is a bit of an emergency." I see her face take the shape of someone who's about to tell me like it is when an unusually strong gust of wind blows around me and into the store, filling it with the putrid smell of what was dripping down my legs. A wave of disgust washed over every person in that line and the attendant lost her will to be a bitch. She quickly grabbed the key and placed it on the counter. As I approached, every person in line took a step away from me. Make way for the human $tea stain. I take the key back outside and around to the rear of the building. I unlock the women's bathroom and quickly go inside. $King perfect, the bathroom looked like it hadn't been cleaned since the station opened over a decade ago. There were paper towels and toilet paper all over the floor because the trash was overflowing. Endless graffiti on every surface. No soap. Only cold water from the sink. I may have been the cleanest thing in the room, but I had no choice. I had to somehow clean the brown shower off my body and clothing. I stripped down completely naked and used the broken hook on the door to hold my shirt off the ground. My underwear? Unrecoverable. They couldn't even be used to wipe off anything else. I practically spun the toilet roll out of its holder trying to wad enough up to wipe myself off. I just kept finding more poo, down my legs, up my back. Not even in the military had I experienced such a dramatic bowel evacuation. I eventually ran out of TP and had to switch to the brown sandpaper dispenser. My skin was raw from the amount of repeated scrubbing I had to do. I was living in a horror story where I got consumed by my own fecal matter. Yes, the paper towels eventually ran out. There was only a little mess left, so I did what I had to do. I used my socks. At least I could rinse them out. They worked decently well to lessen the stains in the denim pants I once had on. After accepting that things were as good as they were going to get, I got dressed using what I had left for wearable clothing. Everything else went into the trash. I then returned the key to the attendant and thanked her for allowing me to use the bathroom. She didn't say a word. She was probably dying on the inside, wondering what was waiting for her in the bathroom. 30 minutes after I thought I had to fart, I returned to my car without underwear, without socks, walking in shoes that still had $T inside them, and smelling like wet, diluted sewage. I was so done, but the date had just started. The instant I opened the door and before I could even get in, "Is everything okay?" You were. Jesus, did a dog $T outside the car? What is that? Yeah, I stepped in a huge pile. That's why I was gone for so long. It was all over my damn shoe. Brand new shoes, and now I think they're ruined. I can't get the smell out. I gotta go home before I make us both sick. Okay. You wanna come back and get me, or what? That's cool, let me drop you off. I'll be back in a few. I took her home, then went back to my place. By then the poo that was in my jeans had made its way into my seat. It took me days to scrub that smell out. I never went back to pick up Tabitha. I felt that amount of colonic devastation had to be an omen of some sort.